Hey, it's JJ and welcome to Ask the Health Expert. But this isn't just any old Ask the Health Expert session. This is your bonus session. Yes, it's the weekend, and because it's the weekend, we are going to take some time with an amazing expert. So be on the lookout for these Saturday Ask the Health Expert bonus sessions where we're going to go deep into an amazing subject with an incredible expert to give you actionable items that you can put into your life. So a couple years ago, back in the days when we all got together, remember those awesome days? I was at this really fun event that Mind Body Green puts on called Revitalize. And they put you together with all different people to eat. So you have assigned seating, which really saves the introvert of that I am. And I was sitting next to this gal, Serena Poon. And we started to chat, and she is beyond just being so darn nice, really fascinating. She had an amazing story of perseverance and kind of a warrior daughter that she went through that led her into nutrition and led her to become a culinary alchemist. And she also is a nutritional energy practitioner, which I'm going to have her explain what that is, how she fuses her expertise as a celebrity chef, a nutritionist, and a Reiki master to serve her A-list clientele. So she founded Culinary Alchemy, and this is a healing program that combines education, integrative and functional nutrition, and healing energy. And it's really, really cool. Like, I've never heard anybody talk about how the right type of diet for your energy body and how to really identify where the blocks might be and what you should do about that. So I am super excited. Plus there's a big sort of surprise validation in this interview as to what you should eat. So watch for that. Wait for it. She also is the founder of Serena Loves, which is a lifestyle brand, blog, podcast, and TV show, and has amazing really incredible products that she has sent over to me that I love. And Just Add Water, a wellness line of super nutrient foods and supplements. Yes, she is busy, busy, busy. She's a certified nutritionist, a certified health consultant, and I'm not sure what a CHN is, but she is that as well. I think it's a certified holistic nutritionist. So a lot of education and a lot of life experience that has led to creating this really amazing nutritional alchemy brand. She also is going to give a great ebook you're going to want to grab at jjvirgin.com/Serena, and that is spelled Serena, Serena. So jjvirgin.com/Serena. Make sure that you jump over there too to grab her ebook. She'll tell you more about it in the interview, and we will be right back. So stay with me. Serena Poon, welcome to the podcast. Super excited to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me, JJ. I'm excited. Really excited to be here.
I am really thrilled to share you with the audience, and I want to get into your story and how you became a nutritional alchemist, because you have a very interesting concept of feeding, the type of diet you want for your physical body, and then also the type for your energetic body. I'm just going to put that out there as a tease. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get into that, though, I think it's really interesting to talk about how you got here. Like, what made you start to really study nutrition and start to discover that you had to feed both these bodies. So let's talk your personal story and how you got here.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for, thank you again for having me and allowing me to share. So I first dived into nutrition because of my parents' journey with cancer. My daddy was diagnosed with cancer when I was in college. And he had a really challenging journey with that. And when he transitioned, just a little over a year after that, our mom was diagnosed with cancer. So 2 months after he had transitioned, they were both in their 40s. So very, very young. And that really shifted my whole perspective on what was important to me in life and what we had gone through as a family and what they had gone through. And I realized that there had to be another way. I really wanted to understand how we could use food as medicine and diving into nutrition and wanting to also give that knowledge out to other people, because we don't know as caretakers the best thing that we can do for our loved ones when they're not well. So that's really kind of what started me on that journey. Except, when I made this mission of wanting to take care of the people that I love and make sure they're happy and healthy, and to kind of spread that, I left myself out of that.
Serena, I find that so often. It's why I wrote Warrior Mom is when you're a caretaker, I think that you get to this point where you feel like self-care is selfish instead of self-care being selfless. Like, it's like there's so many things to do and you've got the emergent right in front of you that you get put on the back burner. So it's pretty common.
And I feel that, even if we're mindful of it, when push comes to shove and there's, certain situations where someone's really ill, we just shift our own self-care, down the priority ladder. And I think also there's a sentiment that I carried that a lot of people, I feel, can relate to. And it's that we think if we give it our all, we think if we're completely selfless and we sacrifice ourselves, we'll get this wish granted, from God or the universe, that it'll save the people that we love. And so what ended up happening was I had this sentiment, and I ended up creating a lot of inflammation in my own body, which ended up turning into a surgery where I had to remove damaged tissue that was inside my chest. That's
extreme. I mean, like that level of damage. Wow.
Yeah. And what's interesting, JJ, is that I didn't even realize, I didn't realize until the body got to that point.
Well, you're probably so focused on the emergency situation in front of you that, you weren't even paying attention, right?
Yeah, no, and you don't. And I think that, again, is, just when we talk about self-care, that being selfish instead of selfish, and self-love just as a way that we actually do take care of our bodies, you don't realize because you're so focused on other people, and your body kind of shifts into this mode. So after I had that surgery where I had to remove this damaged tissue, I actually contracted MRSA, which is the deadly staph infection, pretty much from the OR. And I ended up going through this journey I ended up having 8 surgeries in total, but trying to get this MRSA out, and was unsuccessful for many of them. And after my 4th surgery, I had a massive hematoma 12 days post-op, lost about 2 liters of blood, nearly died. And that became a situation where I was forced to take care of myself first. And I'd always, and I was really fortunate. I had some angels in my life, and they were able to get me into a trauma center on a weekend. They saved my life. They opened me up, patched me up. And then I had this journey of needing to treat myself as my own client and patient, and really having to raise my hemoglobin levels, which had dropped down to 9, back up into a healthy level where I could then go into my 5th surgery and repair the damage that had happened from this 4th one. So that's where I started to really explore spirituality, because I'd done all the right things with my physical health. I was exercising regularly, really committed to that. My nutrition was on point. But I hadn't really been practicing my spirituality and that kind of like personal development equally. So I made a commitment to talk to this spiritual healer, this master that I'd been referred to from a family friend whose family had been speaking to her for years. And I started talking to her once every 3 to 4 weeks. And she worked on my energetic body. She kind of worked on my chakras, and she worked on healing and clearing blocks in my spiritual body. And so as we were going through this, I thought, what if I also supported my spiritual body? Like, what if I could use food, to also support my physical body, my spiritual body, along with my physical body. And as I dove into understanding the chakras, the chakra systems, how things could manifest itself from a block in our chakras in a physical ailment, I started looking into the different foods and the frequency of foods to support those centers as I was supporting just the healing process of my physical body. And that's really where this alchemy of food and nutrition kind of came into. That's sort of how it birthed, but I was really just doing it on myself.
So how would you, and it's so great too, like when you really look at it, shouldn't we all like be our own first client, right? But, so you have this spiritual master who's helping you. How would someone listening be able to distinguish their energetic body and distinguish their challenges in there and know what to do?
So that's such a great question. So, if for someone who has any sort of understanding or is an intro into, say, spirituality or energy work, what I'm really talking about are our chakras, right? And if you're new to it, just it's a reminder that everything is really connected because everything is energy. And so when I'm talking about the chakras, that there are basically 7 different major energy centers that run throughout our body from the base of our spine to the crown of our head. And this is where energy kind of flows in and out in a constant stream. And so we call them chakras. There's more than 7 if you really dive into spirituality, but we focus on the 7 to make it really simple. And essentially what it is it's the link between our energetic and our physical bodies. And it's that universal life force energy that connects us environmentally and spiritually. And these chakras, they vibrate. So it's like a frequency. So if you're understanding energy, it's a frequency. And what once you kind of study it, the chakras, as they go from the root, from our spine to our head, they're actually in alignment to our physical organ systems. So, when we're talking about our root chakra, that's really like our blood, our bones, the lower half of our body, our legs, just this, and our rectum and our tail, our bones, all of this, and the muscles in our lower half of our body. And then as we move up, we're talking about the sacral, which is the second chakra, that kind of governs our emotions and our adrenals and those organ systems, our reproductive systems. And we can go all the way up if you'd like me to, all the way through the 7. But what I decided to do was knowing and identifying where in my body I'd received this trauma, and where in my body I needed to start building back support. So I'd lost a lot of blood. I needed to eat foods that contained not just from physically, like a lot of iron to really build that hemoglobin, and build back my blood cells, but also to really kind of ground me back into my body. I needed mineral rich foods that kind of connect you with the earth, that kind of ground you. Because when this happens, think about it. When we have anxiety, right? When something, say, traumatic happens, we feel completely ungrounded. We feel like we're out of control. We feel when we're stressed and anxious, any of those feelings. And so what you do when you have those feelings emotionally, because that aligns with both our physical and our energetic body, is that you want to put foods into your body that ground you, foods that are connected to the earth, that are full of minerals, because we know how magnesium can also help calm our system. So it kind of works both ways. And so that's just like a peek into what someone can do. Let's say if they're feeling stressed and anxious, but when we go through all 7 chakras and all the organ systems, there's like a whole rainbow of foods that you can eat. But what's nice is, and I'll just hold up my chart that I use as a cheat sheet. What's nice is that the rainbow of colors also align with those chakras. And so when you're eating a rainbow of foods, you're kind of just subconsciously actually getting in all the phytonutrients from the rainbow of foods, but you're also connecting with each one of those energy centers. So the easiest thing to remember is to always try to eat literally a rainbow of foods throughout the course of a day.
But reality is, if you're working with someone, you can help them go through, check in with the 7 centers, kind of see where they are with each one, and then pinpoint dietary, just like we would with your physical body. If your blood sugar was unstable, or you had adrenal issues, or joint pain, you can do the same thing.
Yes.
Which is really interesting because, Serena, like, people aren't talking about that.
Yeah. And so I'm so grateful that we can talk about it now. I mean, it's what I talk about on my platform quite a bit, because it's something that anyone can actually tune into, because you're already eating, you're already trying to eat something that's healthy for your physical body. And when you have an awareness that, okay, so maybe you're having an emotional week, you feel like your adrenals are fatigued, you're eating the right things, drinking the right teas, having the right herbs that soothe your and support adrenal fatigue. I'm going to use that term in quotes because it's the kind of term we have to use in quotes for some people. But that you want to support your adrenals. You can also have an awareness that taking in foods that support that energy center, that chakra. So that's your sacral. That's where your adrenals are housed. That's where that targets your reproductive organs. Having foods that are supportive of that organ center can also help support your energetic body, which is completely integrated with your physical body.
Well, let's walk through a couple of them because there's some that are so common. You just mentioned one, like, stress.
Yeah.
Anything going on with your adrenals, which I think 10 years ago when we were talking adrenals, people had no idea what we were talking about, but now they know. Adrenals equals stress. And this past year in 2020 equals stress. And so walk us through some of the top things that you would do for that energetic body in the diet. And then I'd love to tackle a couple other ones, like definitely digestion. So I would think that would be a big one too.
Yeah.
So let's give some real world advice. I know you also have a gift for everybody so they can learn more, but let's do some real world advice here with some top takeaways, because I'm willing to bet that with our audience, probably stress and digestion are two of the top ones. Aren't those big ones you typically see?
They are. I would say that my biggest focus has been stress and anxiety, obviously adrenals, digestion, but also the heart chakra. So because it has the 2020 is massive impact, and obviously if we're talking about stress, we're also talking about our heart as well. And with everything that's happened. So
cool. We're going to do those three then. I just made a little note. Okay. Dig in.
So as we talked about, we're talking about stress and anxiety, and that really connects with how we feel in terms of how we feel in our safety. If we feel like we're in control, we feel safe, our security. So you want to eat foods that are aligned with the color red, because the color red is in alignment with the root chakra. And so red color.
But we're not talking like red velvet cupcakes.
No,
to be clear.
I'm glad you said that. We're talking about vegetables.
I can just hear people, but you said red. I'm like, oh, honey, no.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm so glad you pointed that out. We're talking about, we're definitely talking about whole foods, so we're talking about fruits and vegetables. And then of course, if you do eat animal protein, dietary proteins, animal protein is something that can really, really, really ground us as well. They're rich in all the vitamins and nutrients. They're rich in minerals. They're rich in all the things we need to actually aid our physical body to also feel grounded and stable. But what I love about specifically, say, root vegetables, if we're talking about whole foods and plants, they come from the earth. So they carry that Mother Earth energy that is very grounding. That's why you may or may not have heard about grounding, where you walk outside in your bare feet, you stick your feet in the grass, you stick your feet in the sand, or your feet in the ocean, you walk into the water. Anything that connects you with nature that way is very grounding, but you can also do this with your foods. So choose like root vegetables, minimal rich foods, red color foods, all great things. And if we're talking about supporting, say, our adrenals, right? Our adrenals, our reproductive system, that's our emotions, our relationships. That is about, we want to focus on, say, orange colored foods. Again, just think of the rainbow, and we're just kind of going through the spectrum of the rainbow right now. So we went from red to orange. So foods that are rich in orange colored, the orange pigment, for example, right? So say bell peppers, orange bell peppers, citrus fruits, all these things are really great for the sacral, but so are fermented foods and say seafood and nuts and seeds. So we want dietary fats and oils that can come from nuts and seeds are also great foods for the sacral, great foods for our reproductive system, great foods for our adrenals. And we talked about the heart, right? So you said digestion. So we do want to do digestion or heart?
Let's do both. So just pick the first next one.
Okay, great. So the next one is the solar plexus, and that supports our digestion, our liver, gallbladder, pancreas. That is about balance. Our stomach, intestine, the whole area, right? Our digestive system. So that's about balance. That's about personal power. That's about feeling in your power. That's about energy. That's feeling balanced, because that is our third chakra. And that is where that resonates with the color yellow. So you choose foods that are yellow in color, but fiber is also really good. Soluble fiber, whole grain, legumes. These are all foods, good quality dietary carbohydrates, right? These are all great foods to support our gut. Obviously, like we're talking about soluble fibers, but it's also great for our energy center. It's also great for balance. And so these are foods, and I actually talk crystals too, but we'll talk about that another time. But these are all foods that support that energy center. So if you're feeling like your digestion is off, right, you can reach for, and I don't have everyone say reach for a banana, but a banana would be a good thing because it depends on your blood sugar levels, but that's good for like the average person. It's got great fiber in it. And it's a healthy, dietary carbohydrate. If we're talking about, say, the heart, the heart chakra that resonates with the color green. And that's one that I talk about a lot because we have had so much that we've had to go through collectively, right? Individually within our families, but also globally, in terms of our hearts, right? There's been a lot of heartbreak and tragedy and trauma over 2020. And so eating foods that are in alignment with the color green, which resonates with the heart chakra, is really, really healing and nurturing for your cardiovascular system, obviously, because of all the microgreens and all the phytonutrients in these grains, dark green leafy vegetables, anything that's green, any green vegetables or fruit, great for that. But it's also great for that heart chakra, which is about, expansion and growth. And so when we're talking about the systems that are governed by the heart chakra, that is our lymphatic, our lungs, our heart, obviously our cardiovascular system, which I already mentioned, but also the greens help with oxygenation, circulation, breathing, all things that are very nurturing to our heart chakra. So I can go all the way up, but, those are like the four.
I think here's the cool bottom line from everything you're saying is it's just, once again, rationale to eat your veggies. Like if it's, that it's like you look at some of the statements that have just persevered in nutrition. And one of them is eat from the rainbow. And when we're saying that, it's not like Skittles, but that all these different plant colors have different functions, that all these different plant nutrients have different things they do. So there's a reason that there's golden beets and red onions and white onions.
Yes.
And, it's like Mother Nature is smart. She didn't just make all this stuff just for no reason. So
yeah,
the cool thing is even if you couldn't pinpoint right now where you might have some blockages or weakness, if you just focused on eating more colors.
Yes.
And really, like, if you looked at every day, I think one of the coolest things you could do now that we're actually home and cooking, a benefit, right, is like try a different vegetable every week. Try something different. So you get off your routine, right?
I love that. Yeah. And that's really one of the biggest takeaways I have, for every audience, is that you don't feel pressure that you've got to eat a whole rainbow of vegetables and fruits in one meal. I mean, that's great if you can get that all into your salad or into your stew, whatever it is that you're making. But as long as you're doing it throughout the course of the whole day, so from breakfast to dinner, you can literally just kind of check off all those different colors. You can have different berries and stuff in the morning with your smoothie or with your oatmeal or however you like to have berries. But those are two really beautiful colors that resonate with your third eye and also your root. So, throughout the course of the day, if you can hit 5, 6, 7 colors, you're getting those phytonutrients, you're getting those minerals and those vitamins, and you're also targeting those energy centers. And as we know, when you're middle-aged, anywhere between 40 and 49, you really want to prioritize calcium, vitamin D, vitamin C and iron. You get those from those leafy greens. You get those by nurturing your heart chakra. You're targeting those nutrients. And as you whether you're in your 50s or 60s, you have to prioritize other vitamin vitamins and nutrients, but you're getting them all when you hit the rainbow.
Yeah, it's very rare. I mean, there are the occasional few people, but for the most part, if you put a bunch of nutritionists in a room, we'd probably all agree on this one. It's like we'd say, drink more clean water and eat more non-starchy vegetables, right?
Yes.
I mean, there you go. But here's another justification in a way that I know we've never talked about on the show for looking at this that you probably have never thought about that can make a big difference. So, someone wanting to continue on with your work, I know you're giving away an ebook, and
yes, we have.
So I'm going to put it at jjvirgin.com/Serena to make it easy, and that's SERENA. So jjvirgin.com/Serena, and it is designed for the anti-aging lifestyle. You want to tell everyone what they're going to read?
Yes. So basically, you are going to get a little ebook that gives you an idea of all the different vegetables that you can eat, and some modalities that you can partake in that will help you with anti-aging. And so it'll kind of break down the vitamins and nutrients that you get in every one of these vegetables and every one of these foods, and why it's important for you to have it. And especially so it all explains why, and explains the antioxidants in them, and why you want to have avocado, and why you want to have almonds, and why a little bit of dark chocolate is great for you. So it'll tell you
why we love you so much. There it is. The avocado, dark chocolate, almonds, who doesn't? So I always look at these things, and go, where did you think eating healthy didn't taste good? Come on. No one's telling you you're going to be living on sprouts over here.
I mean, and eating healthy is not only it tastes good, but it's also fun. Think about the things you can make with almonds and dark chocolate. Think about all the things that it's the
oh my gosh, we have a dark chocolate almond bark that is with no sugar, and then a dark chocolate avocado mousse that's incredible with no sugar. Like, there's incredible stuff. Like, it's just so easy nowadays. So anyway, thank you so much for giving us more justification for why we want to eat our non-starchy vegetables, and really looking at a new way to look at how to go after diet. I want to remind everyone to go to jjvirgin.com/Serena to grab the ebook and to be able to learn more about Serena. So we'll put all that information there. And Serena, thank you so much. I will tell you, I have this altar on my bureau in my bedroom that is all of your cool stuff. So you create an altar for meditation and everything else. Mine is all the stuff that you gave me. So I just want to thank you again for that.
Thank you. I'm so happy. And thank you so much for sharing.
You're so creative and magical with what you put together. She has this thing called Serena Loves, right? Where it's all this beautiful stuff, these crystals, and it's just awesome. So I so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You're so welcome. And I'm so grateful for you, truly, and everything that you do for all of us, that you do for the world. And so I'm just grateful for you.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. I know that you probably guessed how excited I was that all roads led back to non-starchy vegetables. And now you have yet another reason for why you want to be eating from the rainbow. Not only does it help your physical body, it also helps your energy body. And I've been doing a lot of work with meditation and working with Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. So I'm excited to figure out how to eat to help some of these blocked chakras, because darn it, that can be a challenge. So I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. If you have not subscribe to JJ, and I'll see you next time. Bye.